A couple months ago, I had posted that my BF of 4 years admitted that he cheated on me because he got the girl pregnant and waited 2 weeks post delivery to tell me. He said he was going to try everything in his power to make this relationship work, pay for couple therapy. We had a Vegas trip we had planned for a year now, so I decided to give him a second chance. A majority of responses told me to leave, and I should have at that moment. The last few months have been absolute torture. No couples therapy, never told me when he would go see his BM, didn't give me anything for my birthday, and hardly touched or kissed me on the Vegas birthday trip. He proved to me he wasn't worth going through all this pain. He just sat there as I cried and explained how I was drowning in my own emotions. Get over it, it's been a couple months already. I'm getting so much shit for being on this Vegas trip when I have a baby at home. How can you say I don't care for you if I'm here? I said you look fine and your clothes look good. Why are you upset? I never called you ugly, some of the gaslighting words he used on the trip. How can people be so stupid? I was so delusional by someone who I thought loved me but showed he is only after himself. Well, all I can say is karma is getting his ass. $1,000 in child support a month. His car was just confirmed totaled after he got crashed into. He sleeps on the floor of his little brother's apartment, and the same waiting job he's had for the past 6 years hasn't been paying him too good lately. Oh, and turns out his BM has postpartum and has been bitching at him on the daily. To think I was about to pull out a mortgage loan and move in with a lying, cheating, gaslighting MF. Actions speak louder than words, and the wrong actions mixed in with lack accountability opened this girl's eyes. I waited for weeks, months at a time while this man was going back and forth to Louisiana and Texas, only getting maybe a text or two here and there due to him working out in the ocean. And he had the time to go hang out with a friend he hasn't seen in years for drinks and gets too fucked up so he needs to spend the night. But prior to that, you go with her to buy a condom and you get it up, put the condom on yourself, fuck her, and the next morning you realize that you had sex with that friend who turns out to be someone you used to fuck. I swear this happened because I was too fucked up. I didn't realize what was going on. We didn't expect anything to happen. So you hang out with an old fuck buddy and don't think y'all going to fuck. Get the fuck out of here. I found out the details in Vegas. People can be so disgusting. The year I finally decided to introduce him to my family, and he was keeping a pregnancy a secret. I should have just listened to y'all and have left the moment I found out he cheated and he had a baby. For context, I was with my ex for nearly 4 years. I was a couple months older than him, so I was in a different grade. I met my then boyfriend in my sophomore year of high school. We dated throughout the rest of high school and into my first year of college. I stayed close to home for college, not for him or anything, that's just how it worked out. It was roughy at first since we went through going from seeing each other every day to once a week, but we made it through. Then we get to his freshman year. He goes to a school 2 - 3 hours away from home and me, so we started long distance. It was okay for a while, but after a small argument, I noticed a big disconnect. We were calling less, texts were not as in-depth, and I fell from his number one best friend on Snap. I called him one day asking who replaced me, and he said it was his new friend. Let's call her Emily. But I brushed it off and we continued on. A few more weeks go by and it comes up to the week of his birthday. We planned for me to go up to visit him for a weekend to celebrate. I spend $100 on train tickets and $80 on a gift. I go up to his school and immediately I knew something was off. We barely got a second alone. I had to ask for a kiss or a hug. Just overall, it didn't feel like it did over the last 4 years. The night goes on and we meet his friends, who all barely talk to me, look at me, or engage with me. Whenever they do look at me, it's a look of pity almost. The night goes on and we go to meet his friends to watch a movie, and guess who's there? Emily. The whole time she looks at me sideways. She stares at my hand when I'm holding my ex's hand, and she just looks awkward and unhappy this whole time. We start watching a movie and I'm not super interested, so I go on my phone. While I'm doing that, my ex puts his hood up and moves his arm away from me. I notice and look up, and Emily is completely turned around in her seat smiling at him. I grab his arm, pull it back around me, and put his hood down. After the movie ended, I told him I was tired and wanted to go to bed. The whole night he barely touched me and slept with his elbow in my back the whole night. We woke up the next day and went to brunch, and I thought everything was okay because I brought up some concerns with Emily. And he said, okay, I understand, we don't have to see her anymore while you're here. We get back to his campus and we start doing HW with his friends while they watch a baseball game. I called my friend who lives near his school and begged her to come get me. She calmed me down, told me to go pack my stuff and leave as soon as I can, and she'll get me an Uber. I go back in and throw my 2-year-old promise right at him, my necklace with his name on it, and my bracelet with his name on it. I started screaming at him. His whole floor heard me. He said all his friends knew that he cheated and was probably going to break up with me this weekend. I told him he treated me like shit, and no matter who came into my life, I always made sure he was my priority. And I knew no matter what I loved him more than anything and I would never let anyone want in between us. I told him and Emily deserved each other and I hope she cheats on you so you can feel the pain I felt in that moment. I left and haven't heard from him since. Him and Emily started dating within a week of us breaking up, so I'm sure there was more than just a kiss. She started posting TikToks of all these photos and memories together, so I was getting played for way longer than he made it seem. He was at college for 5 weeks, and in those 5 weeks he was able to fall out of love for me, act like the last 4 years meant nothing, and cheat on me. Fuck him and fuck her. He didn't hide that he had a GF, he had pics of us everywhere. He's nothing but a liar and a cheater and is selfish. She's nothing but a homewrecker and a bitch who likes to stalk my Instagram. This happened in October of 2022. It's now June 2023. As far as I know, they're still dating. But who gives a fuck? I have a new boyfriend who treats me much better and it overall just better for me. Even with my happiness, I can't help but hope both of them end up getting hurt.